Hey, welcome. Thank you, everybody, to joining us with another episode of the LymeBoss podcast. Today, we have special guest Dr. Gupta, and we're going to be talking everything autoimmune and Hashimoto's, which is one of my favorite topics. Most of you know that I've actually reversed 2 out of 3 of my autoimmune diseases, one of them being Hashimoto's. So having an awesome doctor on here, functional practitioner, talking deeper into this, because folks, there is a way to reverse a lot of these lifestyle diseases, right? Just because you've been diagnosed with it doesn't mean that that's the end story, right? There's things that you can do. And so I love that I've got Dr. Gupta on here today. So welcome. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Gupta.
Thank you so much, Heather, for inviting me over here. And this is a great hope story that I would like each and every person to hear, that, you were able to reverse your Hashimoto's. I do it each and every day, and I tell people it is possible. So don't let anybody tell you that, you have to live the way you are living currently with dreadful symptoms of Hashimoto's and not able to reverse it. There are things you can do to get better. So listen to Heather, what she's saying, because she has great things. Podcast is awesome, sharing great knowledge. So thank you, Heather, for getting me over here.
Absolutely. Thank you. And so, yeah, we met in Mindshare, which is this like superstars on steroids as far as like people in the alternative health world. It's just, it's been such almost all my guests have come from Mindshare, because all of them are very much on the same thread. We're out here trying to do the same thing. Most of us were in like the regular typical Western medicine world, and we were stuck with 2 choices, right? Surgery or prescriptions. And sometimes after a while, some of us woke up and decided that we didn't want to do that anymore. And we started digging deeper for answers. So let's talk about, what got you into this line of work and kind of what's your background story?
Absolutely. So again, I was a regular family physician, for a long time. After completing my residency, I joined a private job, seeing patients all the time. But just a couple of years into the practice, I started having my own health problems. I started gaining a lot of weight, even though I did not change anything into my exercise or dietary patterns. I was having this horrible, horrible stomach pain. And it was completely random. Doesn't matter what I eat, I will get this pain, it will randomly hit me at different times. And then I was having this tiredness or fatigue all the time. Like during the day, I will always feel that I should take a nap just to function during the day. Or end of the day, I was just done. Like I was having so brain fog that I was not able to concentrate on things, just not feeling good. I was taking medications to fix this gut problem, like thinking that I'm a smart doctor and I can fix myself. I tried doing it. It just did not work. Then after a while, I thought, well, maybe I'm not smart enough. Let me go to all these specialists. They can fix me. So I went into specialist after specialist and did a whole bunch of testing, whether it was endoscopies, colonoscopies, ultrasounds, blood work, allergy testing.
Wait, did they come back and tell you that all your labs look normal?
Yes. And they had no idea how to fix me. And they just added more medications to my regimen without even knowing what was wrong with me. Right. And I was just 32 years of age. So I was not like 60 or 70 or thinking that I was, they could just blame it. Okay, well, you're just old, right? And I had no kids, so they could not blame it on them also, right? Because a lot of us have been blamed, oh, you have kids, you have busy parents, or, busy job and things, right? So literally they had nothing to blame it on. And I was like totally frustrated, and I was left without any hope of I can get better on what to do next. Because literally there was nothing else. So that's where I found functional medicine. I heard stories of people, who were doing functional medicine and they were able to heal people like me. So that's where I got certified into functional medicine, kind of applied those things into my own health. I found the root causes of my issues and then made a stepwise plan to address all of those root causes. Now, within 1 month of starting the protocol, my complete pain, the abdominal pain, was suddenly gone. Within 6 months of doing the protocol, I was off all medications. I lost 40 pounds of weight. My brain fog was completely gone. My brain was like on steroids. I working like, overtime, no issues with that. My energy levels were so high that I even participated in a 5K rugged maniac. And I was never an athletic person. So for me to doing that was a big thing. So that 6 months transformed my life. With just a few changes, each and everything was better. I was off medication. So that was a big eye opener for me. I was like, what am I doing? I need to share this with the world around. This is amazing stuff. So that's where actually, and luckily the opportunity came to start working at the Cleveland Clinic Functional Medicine Department with Dr. Mark Hyman, because they're trying to do research into functional medicine and prove to the world that it was working. And I had research background, so I said, okay, let me work on that. So I started working in the Cleveland Clinic, and what I saw was that, I was seeing these females, middle-aged females, who had very similar story as mine. They all had gut problems. They all had weight issues. They had being tired, being fatigued, being brain fog. And the biggest thing was that they all were doing what their regular doctors were telling them to do, taking medications, still not getting better. And these all females had thyroid issues, especially Hashimoto's. So that got me interested. I need to help them because they are very similar to my symptoms. So I started researching into Hashimoto's, what was going on, why these females are not getting better, what was the root cause of these problems. So I came up with this protocol where I kind of identified certain root causes which are triggering or the real reason of Hashimoto's. What was happening with these Hashimoto's females? What was being destroyed? Was it the thyroid or was it something more, like mitochondria, which was causing the real problem? Made kind of very simple 3-step process to help people and applied that into the practice of phenomenal results. Females were getting their life back, like literally from what they were getting before. Their thyroid numbers were getting better. Their thyroid antibodies were getting negative, which never ever have been heard about, especially in Heather's story, right? In the conventional world, that was not heard about. So that's what prompted me to go into Hashimoto's. I wrote a Reversing Hashimoto's book last year. Again, that became bestseller. Book is again research-backed information that is already there. So it's not the information that I am cooking or like I'm just making up in my mind. It is all research-based. And again, has stories about people who have able to reverse Hashimoto's. So that's kind of a bigger story of me.
That is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. And I could just sit here and listen to you talk all day long. You have got the coolest, sexiest accent. I have to say, I've never heard someone say terrible, terrible stomach ache and have it sound so good.
Thank you so much.
So what part of the world are you in right now?
So Cleveland, Ohio is basically
you're still in Ohio?
Yeah, still in Ohio, but we have become a complete telemedicine, functional medicine practice because, being in such a small state, people had to travel from all over the country. So we figured out during COVID how to kind of take this functional medicine practice completely online. So that's what we have been doing for the last 2 or 3 years, seeing patients just completely online now.
Very cool. Very cool. So talk to us about your simple 3-step process. Like, who doesn't love a simple 3-step process?
Yeah. So first of all, I'd like to kind of share a little bit more information to understand people like why Hashimoto's females or males are not getting better, right?
Right.
So typically, the Hashimoto's, people have been told, well, you just have hypothyroid. Your thyroid is not functioning. You have low thyroid. Just give them a thyroid hormone that will fix everything. But in reality, Hashimoto's is an autoimmune condition. Your body is making antibodies, which is destroying your thyroid gland, right? And that ultimately leads to hypothyroidism. And a lot of people don't even understand this whole process. Now, when I went deeper into this whole process, what I realized was that these antibodies were not only destroying the thyroid gland, they were destroying the mitochondria of these people. And that's the reason they were getting all of these symptoms. So what is mitochondria, right? So mitochondria is these teeny tiny organelle, which is present in each and every cell of our body. Without mitochondria, we probably will not be living. Those are the energy house of the cell. That's what most people will know them about. They're responsible for making energy, kind of giving life to each and every organ of our body. Now, the interesting piece, which people don't know about, is that each and every symptom of thyroid disorder is actually mitochondrial symptom. Low energy is because of mitochondria is not functioning. Brain fog is because of mitochondria, because brain is mitochondrial driven. Weight issues, metabolic disturbances, mitochondria regulates your metabolic balance. It basically helps to regulate your fat, carbohydrates, proteins, everything. So that's the reason people are not able to lose weight. And on all the symptoms. So people don't know that these are mitochondrial symptoms and not just deficiency of thyroid hormone. So that's where, kind of started my journey of, bingo. So it's actually the mitochondria which is being destroyed along with the thyroid. So we not only have to figure out what is destroying the thyroid, we have to figure out what is destroying the mitochondria and fix both of them.
Well, that
So
makes
that
total sense why people don't just get better from just a thyroid supplement, right? Just a thyroid prescription, because you're missing another huge piece to that puzzle, right? The mitochondria dysfunction, which is a big thing everyone's talking about these days. I just had Dr. Rawls on. He's a big Lyme disease doctor. He just wrote a book on mitochondria. I just had Dr. Todd Watts, the CEO of Cellcore, all talking about mitochondria. So this is, listen up, folks. This is huge. Sorry, please continue.
No, absolutely. So this is exactly, now we are knowing about all this research. So that's the reason, everybody's focusing on the mitochondria. While if you look at the papers, we already had this research like 5 or 6 years ago, but obviously nobody was putting them two and two together. So this is huge, as you said. And the interesting fact is that, more than 60% of patients, even taking the levothyroxine, the medicine for thyroid, is still continue to have symptoms. So I asked this question that, okay, well, if all these symptoms are because of deficiency of thyroid hormone, once you give them the thyroid hormone, why would not fix it, right? So simple logic tells there is something else going on, right? As you said, and exactly that's the mitochondrial dysfunction. So the 3-step process is very simple, right? The first step is figuring out what is causing this destruction. So I've identified 5 major root cause or causes which are responsible for destroying, this mitothyroid connection or mitochondria and thyroid. And these 5 major root causes, the first one being food sensitivities, right? Food is medicine, we have all heard it, but the wrong food can be responsible for destroying our bodies. We have research which is backing now saying that gluten, dairy, processed food, soy, corn, all these GMO foods that we are eating on the daily basis is destroying our gut, which is causing leaky gut, causing autoimmune process. So food sensitivity is the number one reason, which a lot of people are having autoimmune conditions. So people need to figure out what food sensitivities they have, right? The second thing, there's nutritional deficiencies. What people don't know is that, our food currently is low in nutrients as compared to a decade ago. A research study was done comparing the nutrients from 1980s to now. And what they saw was that the same food that we're eating is lower in a lot of vitamins and minerals that especially thyroid needs, like zinc, like selenium, like magnesium. So even though you're eating the healthiest diet, your body is low in these vitamins and minerals. And without these things, your body cannot produce thyroid hormone that creates an instances of stress on your body. And that again ultimately leads to Hashimoto's. So nutritional deficiencies, again, very important reason of causing Hashimoto's. The third thing is stress. We are living in a current world which is like exposed to stress 24/7. Whether it's a pandemic, whether it is, a stress because of our relationships, because of our working pressures, just the world in general has become more stressful. So chronic stress, again, we know that is responsible for all of these autoimmune conditions, causing too much inflammation in the body, which is again triggering Hashimoto's. The next one is toxins. Our world again is being toxic more and more. Each and every day, we are pouring more and more toxins out in the world. And all of these toxins combined together is causing Hashimoto's. Now, interesting fact most people don't know about is that the thyroid gland is like a sponge. Even small amount of toxins your body get exposed to, they directly goes to the thyroid gland and gets deposited over there. The toxin industry makes fool of people by saying, oh, these toxin levels are so small, teeny tiny, they cannot do anything. But continued exposure of these toxins for lifelong, that's where it triggers Hashimoto's. Whether it's heavy metals like lead, mercury, arsenic, or it is the mold toxins which are, around us in our buildings, workplaces, or hotels, or Airbnbs, or the environmental toxins like organophosphates, the pesticides, or each and every chemical that we are getting exposed to, right? Our cosmetic makeups, everything have toxins in them. So just imagine we have only one detox system and all of these toxins have to go out through that. So over the course of time, the detox system fails. And toxins are a very major reason that in the last decade, we are seeing an uptick in Hashimoto's disease clients. A decade ago, there were very few people with thyroid problems, but now suddenly we have a lot more people with thyroid issues. And all of this is because of Hashimoto's. So definitely toxins are playing a major role. And the last thing is infections, right? We know several viral infections like Epstein-Barr virus has been linked with Hashimoto's for a long time. Several gut parasites like blastocystis and other things have been linked to Hashimoto's. Lyme disease, Bartonella, Babesia, all of those things again can definitely trigger Hashimoto's that a lot of people not aware of.
Yeah,
So the very first
I
thing,
didn't know about that blasto. I had actually blasto 7 or 8 years ago too, back when this thyroid stuff started happening. So I actually did not know that that was a correlation.
yeah, so there was actually, I share in my book about 2 research studies. Actually, they actually checked people who have blastocystis in their gut, and they correlated that these people had more chances of Hashimoto's disease. And the interesting fact was that once they treated these, like the parasite, suddenly their antibody levels improved and the thyroid numbers got better. So it was a smaller study, but that was eye-opening. Not only there was a correlation between this parasite and Hashimoto's, but treating it improved the thyroid numbers. So I was like, wow, bingo. Nobody's talking about this thing, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that you're bringing in the food piece because I think that's the one that makes my head explode the most. I've even met a couple clients who like did the full 9-month comprehensive cell core protocol, right, to overcome Lyme and mold. And they're like, I still feel like crap. And I'm like, I have thyroid issues. And I'm like, well, what are you eating? Oh, typical pizza, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, what practitioner put you on this protocol and didn't talk to you about diet? Like, it's maddening.
Exactly.
Maddening.
It is. And a lot of people, that's what they are kind of looking for, these fancy things, right? Okay, well, I have mold toxins, or, like I have this chronic infection and things, and they're taking these heavy doses of antibiotics or heavy doses of detox products, and they're not taking care of the basic things. As you said, people are coming to see me, they're eating like tons of sugar, they're eating tons of like, junk food. They said, man, doctor never told me not to eat this. So I thought that was okay. I was like, well, how can you feel better when you're doing these things, even though you're taking these bucket load of supplements? They are not going to feed your body. You need to feed your body properly before you move forward. So absolutely, I'm a big proponent of lifestyle changes. That's what I think, everybody should have this great base of changing their lifestyle, and then, launching into a more advanced protocol or whatever the root cause is to address it.
Can I get an amen? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I love that. I mean, it was I had to dial it in more for myself. So I was gluten free, but I wasn't dairy free and I wasn't corn and grain free. And those cross react like wheat. And there's a component of thyroid tissue looking a lot like wheat tissue. So there's a molecular mimicry going on. And so once I cut out the following grains, dairy, and corn, and then I went after blasto and a few other little gut bugs that I had, that's when I turned my antibodies around. And I really didn't think I was doing anything like that extreme. And I mean, my antibody numbers went from like a 30 down to like a 6, within about a 6-month period. And I was actually quite shocked. I was like, holy shit, does that mean I don't no longer have Hashimoto's? Wait, they told me I was going to have this for the rest of my life. What do you mean?
Exactly. And these are like, great stories that we hear from our clients, like antibody levels of 1300, 2000, 3000. And then suddenly, like, within 4 to 6 months, their antibodies are negative.
Wow.
And the doctors, like some of the endocrine doctors have gone to the point that they will not believe what is happening. So they will say, I want to repeat your antibody levels. And the patient will say, well, why would you repeat it? They said, I have never seen anybody getting negative from this high level. So I think it's a lab error. She said, no, I am doing things to get it better. She said, no, I don't believe it. I want to repeat it. She said, well, I don't want to pay for it. She said, I will pay for it, but I want to repeat it. They will repeat it and the antibodies are negative.
Oh my God.
This particular endocrine doctor became such a big fan of us that he's now recommending us, like, okay, well, you have Hashimoto's, I can do this. But if you want your antibodies to become negative, go to this person. I don't know what he does, but it works. I've seen it in my clients. So I was like, wow, this is amazing that, at least people are becoming open to it. But
Right.
still, in the conventional world, it is not heard of that, you can get your antibodies level to the negative point of it.
How funny that he sees it with his own 2 eyes and he knows enough to refer out, but he's not taking that extra step to learn how he can help his patients, you know what I mean, in a more holistic way. Like, that's the part that still kills me. It's like, what more proof do you need, dude?
Exactly. And I said, you don't have to know the whole protocol. Start with basics. Even these basics can change 90% of your patient's life. Just tell them to eat better. Because when they come and ask you, what should I eat? Just eat whatever you like. It doesn't matter. Well, at least tell them eat better, like do these few things. That itself will be huge.
Right.
Just take a break, work on your stress, just kind of improve your lifestyle changes. That can be life changing for a lot of Hashimoto's clients. It doesn't have to be complex. Just have to be simple things.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my gosh, I love it. So what are any other little kind of nuggets that you'd like to leave the audience with today? Like, that's been absolutely beautiful, and you put it together just so succinctly and easy to understand. Like, this was awesome. So yeah, what are some like final little nuggets that you want to still kind of drop on the audience?
Absolutely. But before we just say my final word. So the step one was finding the root cause. The biggest mistake a lot of people think is that there is only just one root cause.
Right.
Most people with Hashimoto's will have more than two root causes. Okay. So don't stop at finding the first root cause and think that is it. No, you have to look at all the root causes. Most people will have more than 2+ root causes. So the first step is finding the root cause. The second step is to start fixing your mitochondria and the thyroid. So that's where the diet plays an important role. We spoke about certain foods you need to remove, then include certain foods which fixes your thyroid and mitochondria, right? And then also certain supplements that will help you out with that. And the third step is removing the toxicities, which is, these toxins, which is the stress, which is the infections, your immunity. So if you do these 3 steps, easy things that you can incorporate in a stepwise plan, that will definitely be much more helpful for you. Doesn't have to be complex. So just kind of start with the basics, changing your diet, like removing those bad foods, incorporating good foods, good quality vegetables, non-starchy vegetables. Don't get afraid with those vegetables. A lot of people are afraid, well, these cruciferous vegetables I've been told are bad for me. No, that was an old research study done when the major reason of Hashimoto thyroid disorders were actually iodine deficiency. The current epidemic of thyroid disorder is because of Hashimoto's. And we have a couple of research studies done which shows that these cruciferous vegetables, because all the antioxidants and all the things they have are important for Hashimoto's clients. So don't get afraid of vegetables. Those are your friends. Include them in your diet. Don't get afraid of fats. Good fats are needed by your body. So make sure you're eating good fats. Your avocados, your olive oil, your coconut, your nuts and seeds, all those things are great. Good fats are wonderful. Good quality protein. Include them. Chicken, fish, turkey. Again, those are your friends. So include friends in your diet. Keep them closer to you. And all those bad stuff, just stay away from you. And I think just doing this stuff will be life-changing for you and can be huge. And then if it is not changing things, that's where you need to go to the advanced protocol, but don't start with the advanced things. First, start with the basics and take care of the basics. And I think that is going to make a huge difference in your life.
Absolutely. Amen. So thank you for wrangling back in. I've just gotten so excited over our discussion today that, yeah, I kind of skipped over that last part. So I appreciate you slowing my roll and backing it up and finishing up with those points. That's awesome. God, this was just, like I said, just so along the lines of the same stuff that I've been screaming from the top of the mountain for the past couple of years myself. So it's fantastic to have you in this fight of awareness, right? And changing the paradigm that's out there, because you don't have to stay sick and you don't have to keep these labels that you've been slapped with. And it can very well turn around. It's simple. It's not always easy, right? Because this lifestyle that's set up, it is not set up or conducive for health. Like, it's amazing when I travel, how hard it is for me to find clean water, clean food, right? Like, it's crazy. It's a no wonder so many people are sick, because this society is not set up for health. It is set up for disease, and we're seeing it. So God bless you for doing what you're doing in the world. And now it's the shameless plug time of the show. So like, what, is it your book? Like, where can people find you? What are you promoting right now?
Absolutely. I think a book is a very great start. Very easy read. Anybody can read the book in 3 or 4 days. I wrote the book in a very simple languages, but still backed by the research. So people can understand, because obviously there are several books which has been written from research and very high intellectual levels, which can get very complicated. So my goal was to write a book in simple language, tell the people what was wrong with them, and then give them this plan of how to fix it. So the easy way to get the book, even for the root cause approach, there is certain questions that you can take over there that will give you an ideas about what potential root causes you are dealing with. And then obviously there are simple steps that you can incorporate that will fix it. You can even take a quiz, so on my website, you can go, the website is anshulguptamd.com. There's a free thyroid quiz where, again, that will give you a score of your root cause. So you will know what root causes you are dealing with. I like to share a lot of information, like how Heather is doing. So, I'm very active on social media, especially I have a YouTube channel. Again, the name is Anshul Gupta, MD. Again, a lot of different short videos I'm sharing over there, which again, things that you can simply implement in your life that can completely transform you. So follow us wherever you like, whichever way you want to learn, through by reading, through watching or listening. And I hope, the only message I want to give to you is that there is hope for you to get better.
Amen.
Please.
Is your book on Audible? Can I listen to you with that lovely voice?
Not yet, because
you need to get that on Audible.
Because of my great accent, like I'm still like shy of doing the Audible book.
Oh my gosh. Heck no. That's the first thing I thought of. I'm like, I'll get it on Audible like right now if I can sit here and listen to you for the rest of the day. Yeah, you absolutely get to get that on Audible. That'd be incredible. So thank you, everybody. And please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, right? This is how this information gets out. It's, it can't just stay on my platform or stay on Dr. Gupta's platform. It's up to you to continue to spread and share this awareness. So please like, subscribe, share, and stay tuned. Have a healthy day. Thanks for joining us, Dr. Gupta.
Thank you so much.